Hi there, Sam Sorbo for the Accidental Homeschooler. So today, last day of the week, I want to talk about this question that I got. If your kids were maybe made to feel weird about being homeschooled kids, like how do you deal with that? Parents are now maybe really thinking, okay, I think maybe this fall we'll homeschool. And so how do you deal with that with your kids? And your kids are going, well, the other kids are gonna make fun of me or whatever. First of all, I would say to you that there are probably going to be more kids than you might think this fall that are being homeschooled, because a lot of parents are waking up, and that's a good thing. So I'm happy about that. But how did I do it? Because my child was in second grade, all the way through first and second grade. My second one had gone through kindergarten, and the first thing that I did was I lauded the fact that the homeschool day is a lot shorter than the school day. There are some really great pros to being homeschooled, to doing education at home. And I say at home. It's home education because we don't have a better word for it. We should just call it education, because education isn't what is happening in the schools. So I don't know why we're calling that education, but we lost control of the language. And so here we are. So one of the great benefits of home education is that your school day is much shorter. Another great benefit is that you have the opportunity, because you have more hours in the day, you have more free time, let's say, is you can pursue things that are more interesting to you. And with a shorter day and things that are more interesting for you, and also the ability to sort of devise your own schedule, so you're not answering to a bell, which I think is kind of a funny way to put it. So you can tell the kids, you just say to your friends that you don't have to respond to a bell. I mean, seriously, we're training our children like Pavlovian dogs. I don't have to answer to a bell. So you arm your children with the truth about how great it is to be able to home educate, about all the positives of home education. You arm your children, and that way they have the opportunity to defend themselves to the kids who are maybe making fun of them or deriding them in some way. Okay? Certainly the fact that they're being home educated is not because, look, it used to be that kids were homeschooled because they were misfits. And it was literally sort of the last resort of parents. And so for that reason, a lot of home-educated kids, the home-educated children sort of got this reputation that they were all weirdos. But that's no longer the case. So this shouldn't be a thing, but I get that maybe it is, or maybe some parents think that it is. And so I'm just saying, train your children to be able to respond. That's the job of the parent. So you don't say to the kid when he's made fun, oh, you're homeschooled now, wow, aren't you special, or whatever. You don't tell your kid to say, well, you're stupid. No, you give them you give them pride. You give them pride, not hubris, not disdainful pride, but pride in who they are. So, and my kids have been proud of the fact that they've been home educated since I can remember. And they say things in private that that are too prideful, and I tell them, I'm sorry, you got to keep a lid on that, because that's too much. But they, we drive past a school and they say, look, Mom, a child prison. Because they understand that they don't have to walk through school doors every morning and pass through metal detectors and have bars on the windows and stuff. And so you give your children that sense of pride, and children should have a sense of pride. They should have an idea of what they should be proud about. And one of the things that they can be proud about is that their school day is 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever it is, that they can basically design it themselves, because you give your children a little bit of autonomy and you say, you got to get this done. what I used to do with my younger kids is I would incentivize them to complete everything by 1 o'clock. And if they did that, they got a half hour of play on the game. And that was such a big deal that they typically got it done. So you incentivize them, you give them the reasons why homeschooling, and maybe you pick a project for your kids. Like, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to grow a garden? Do you want to take up painting? Do you want to, right? And so you give them that extracurricular thing that they can do in abundance because they no longer have to answer to a bell. And so they can tell their friends, well, I get to go horseback riding every afternoon, or I get to do my painting every afternoon, or whatever it might be. So you turn the tables. Homeschooling is not a punishment, it's a privilege. That's basically what it boils down to. Thanks for listening. Check the details in the description of the video. Please give me a like and share the news, and be encouraged on this fantastic journey that we call home education.